Hey guys, Novel Bushid here, welcome back to the channel, hope you guys are doing alright. And what Capcom have done with this particular feature could change everything for Monster Hunter going forward. Let's get into this. So before we continue, what we're going to be talking about encapsulates low rank in its entirety and I guess most of high rank too. So if you don't want to know about this, click off the video and you can catch me for the next one because we will have more videos coming up soon. Okay, the warning has been given, now let's get into this. Guardian Ebony Odogaron. When I saw that monster, I was like, wow, does this mean Odogorans in this game, or are we only getting Ebony? And is this the only subspecies we're going to get in this game without a base monster? And it turned out to be the case that no, it wasn't. We also had Falga and Jannath. And when I see these two monsters, it just shows to me that we can finally get subspecies in a game without the base monster, which was something I've talked about before and have wanted for a long time. Now, going into Monster Hunter Rise, we did have Crimson Glow Valstrax, but since that was only one monster and it was the first time they've done it, at least to my knowledge, we kind of brushed it aside. But now it definitely seems to be a serious thing where Capcom are willing to bring the subspecies or maybe even rare species in the future without the base monsters, which I think opens up a lot of room for adding in more interesting fights and creating new fights in Monster Hunter. Now, where am I going with this? Well, basically there are some monsters that get added into each game, and obviously you have to add the base monster in the game and then we normally get the subspecies or rare species and so on. This really blows up the game with the same monsters over and over again. Zinogre's one example, Nargacuga's another, Tigrex as well. What if going forward they're willing to add just the subspecies and not the base? It adds so much value to the game itself and in lore as well, because yes, game design wise it does make sense. If you're going to add the subspecies, you might as well add the base monster because they're close enough. You might as well add more content, but this way they do save a bit of time rather than focusing on armor and weapons and so on for the base monster and just focus strictly on the newer monster so they can add in more new experiences overall. So I get that from the game mechanics side, but when it comes to lore and when it comes to just being able to have new fights in general or more exciting fights, this is good for everyone. Lore wise it's good because there's going to be some subspecies of monsters or even animals in the world that exist in different places that don't exist in others. Like there are many different types of birds, there are many different types of subspecies of those birds as well that live in different parts of the world depending on the climate and so on. So in the Forbidden World, seeing Ebony Odogaron, even though it's a Guardian, you know, hopefully we see the base monster as well eventually, and then seeing Guardian Falga really leans into this idea that in this far off land there are subspecies that may only exist here and not the base species. This makes me so excited because there's so many monsters we could have in this game and going forward in more Monster Hunter games where we only get the subspecies. Some monsters I'm thinking about is, for example, Green Nargacuga. Green Nargacuga has not appeared since the 3rd gen. Now in the 3rd gen, Green Nargacuga was not a great fight, to be honest. It was very similar to the base, but if they can bring him back and change the fight just enough so it's very different and forget about the base, just bring Green, mix up the fight. Not many people have fought Green. It hasn't been back in 3 generations, that's a long time. So bringing him back will be way more exciting than just bringing base Nargacuga. I don't think many people will be disappointed with a monster that hasn't been around for that long. Other monsters that come to mind, Jade Barroth. Base Barroth, people are tired of Barroth. He's been in Monster Hunter since Tri. Now he was great in Tri, but he's been in every game since and it does kind of get boring having that same muddy monster in each game. But Jade Barroth is a different beast. Bringing Jade Barroth with the ice attack and throwing out ice blocks while charging, they could revamp the fight even more to make it more exciting for the new gen, an experience that not many people have had. And then coming on to Monster Hunter Rise, there were loads of monsters, absolute loads of them, that didn't have subspecies. That would have been great to have subspecies. Now, in this game, they could bring back the base like Tetranadon, Gosurag, Acnosum. They could bring back the base, but it would be great if they could also bring back a subspecies too. And when it comes to Somnacantha, I would say leave base Somnacantha, just bring Aurora. I know a lot of people don't like Aurora's fight, but I think her fight was very different and very explosive, literally. So bringing her back would actually be interesting for the mechanics of this game. But yes, Tetranadon and Gosurag, bring the subs. If they want to bring base Gos, bring it, do it. Like they can bring the base for both, but the subs at least, that would be fantastic for everyone to experience something new that we didn't experience in Rise for both of those monsters. Another subspecies they could bring is Blood Orange Bishaten. Blood Orange was a great fight. I really enjoyed his fight in that game. Monster Hunter Wilds has a lack of blast monsters, so this would just add to the overall package of blast monsters. In fact, this game lacks so much on blast monsters that when it comes to Graphios' weapons, now they're blast instead of fire, which is weird because he doesn't do blast anyway. So yeah, bringing him back too. Now, one of my personal favorites is Glacier Ignactor, and well, Base Ignactor is so good too, so both of them in one package would be amazing. But that's not even just all, guys. There is one monster, guys, one monster I think has a clear path now to return to this world, to the world of Monster Hunter. Lagiacrus. I think Lagiacrus now has the best chance to actually come back in the Monster Hunter game because of what's going on here. Now, for the longest of times, I've said Lagiacrus cannot be back without water. I still think that's very true. His fighting trait is all around the water itself, but there's a way for them to bring him back without bringing back the base. Bring Ivory Laggy for this game. He would be perfect, absolute perfect, alright? Ivory Laggy, for people who don't know, is a Lagiacrus who mostly fights on land. Probably at 95% of the time he's on land, and then 5% is on water, only when he's trying to get way to his nesting place, to his sleeping place, to rest. Apart from that, he fights on land. Lightning attacks, whips, everything. He's fine being on water, like having water below him, but not in the sea. He likes to be on land mostly, and he looks so majestic. His weapons look great. His armor is fantastic. The fight itself, people don't really like the fight overall. I thought the fight was fine. To be honest, I quite enjoy it, but I can imagine they could revamp the fight for this game to be even more enjoyable for everyone. So I think this is the best way to get Laggy back, honestly. Ivory Laggy is the way. And if they're willing to add in subspecies without the base one, I know people might be a bit confused, but it makes the most sense when it comes to what's going on with this game so far. I'm actually so shocked, guys. When I saw it, when I saw Ebony Odogaron, I was like, Ebony Odogaron, really? And then after just thinking about it, got me so excited for all the opportunities we can have. There's so many monsters, and for sure, Ivory Laggy is definitely one that I would love to see come back for this game, and it would be fantastic. And the best way to get Laggy back in Monster Hunter after so long. He is my third favorite monster, guys. I want Laggy. Honestly, I want Laggy so much. Like, you guys don't understand. He's my third favorite monster. He used to be my first. Monster Hunter Tri is my first Monster Hunter game. I've known Laggy since his inception, since his birth. He brought me into the Monster Hunter series. He raised me. Alright, I want him. But this is the way that I can envision them getting him into this game. And I'm excited to see what they have for us in the future. Anyway, guys, leave down a comment down below of monsters that you would like to come back as just subspecies. I'm actually thinking of Viper, Tobi-Kadachi. You know, we had Tobi-Kadachi in many games, but Viper only in Iceborne, so bring him back too. He was quite deadly in that game too. Like, why not? Why not? Magma Almudron. I know people don't like Magma Almudron, but I think he's actually a pretty good fight when you remove the fact that Ignactor should have been in the game instead. If you remove that fact, he was pretty damn good. Cole Puki. That was an interesting fight and surprisingly difficult sometimes, and hard hitting if you got hit by the water beams. Who knows, guys? Who knows? But if I keep going, I'm going to be here all day just shouting out names for monsters that I want for this game. So let me know down below what you want instead. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you next time. See ya.